Hi guys, Tracy Andos. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be recapping Married at First Sight Chicago, Season 18, The Reunion Part 2. I'm really excited, you guys. The new season of our favorite show, Married at First Sight, is starting to air next week, July 12th. So please subscribe and we can watch it together. And also go check out my other channel if you're a true crime documentary person like I am. Lots of good stuff. I'll go ahead and link it above. Let's just get right into this episode. David is asked by Kevin if David and Madison had already been together when he accidentally sent Michelle the text that was meant for Madison. This guy cannot tell the truth if his life depended on it. He is not even a good liar, but he lies all the time. I don't even know why Kevin asked him, but it is a question we all want answered. He must think we're super stupid. He can't even stop lying about it. We've heard so many different versions of this, and they've all been equally ridiculous. When David confesses he was flirting with Madison just to see if he still had it, I understood that. That's the story he should have told from the very beginning. Michelle certainly didn't make him feel good about himself or desired. David is trying to say his first kiss with Madison was after the last meeting with the experts, when Madison had too many drinks and got some liquid courage and blew up on Michelle. Remember that night? Well, he's saying that was their first kiss. No, David, that was not your first kiss. It was weeks and weeks, if not months ago. 9 weeks to be exact. He must really think we're stupid. He can't possibly believe we're falling for this. Michelle says there's no way you sent that text message without already being intimate. And I agree, and so do the experts. Sorry, David, your lies are not working on us. Kevin agrees with Madison and tells David that at least implies that you've had a snack. David is still trying so hard to make things fit the timeline, and they don't, because you're a liar, David. Michelle always had an intuition that there was something inauthentic about David. She sure was right. So yes, Kevin, Michelle does feel rightfully vindicated, as she should. Kevin even asked Michelle, don't you think David started knocking on Madison's door because you weren't answering? And Michelle says that doesn't give him a right to cheat. Michelle's definition of success is with finances, but also health and happiness, but she does lead with finances. Success to David is finding a soulmate, and he has a woman who doesn't judge him on his finances. He says he and Madison will build their financial future together. They bought an investment property in Iowa near his brother. Good for them. But it's not about that, David. It's about the way you went about it. I really think Michelle just thought David should have been farther along at his age with his finances. We all develop at different times in our lives, but when seeking out a partner, you want somebody in alignment where you are. David even describes Madison as the breadwinner. He is that kind of man that's okay with a woman taking care of him financially and emotionally. It's really not what Michelle was looking for. She wants an equal. She doesn't want to be someone's mama. Kevin points out that Madison is younger, probably insinuating she doesn't expect as much as Michelle, and Michelle agrees. Maybe if she was 10 years younger like Madison, David's situation wouldn't have been so disappointing. I agree. David has Peter Pan syndrome, in my opinion, and Kevin enlightens David to the true meaning of gaslighting because he's very good at it and he doesn't even know what the definition is. It is when you say something to Michelle crazy and expect her to believe it. Michelle realizes that she has trust issues, that her walls are up, and she has to work on being softer and kinder. But I mean, can you blame her if these are the kinds of men that she's been dating? No wonder she's so jaded. All she needs is a good man that will be patient with her, that will show her through his actions that he's kind and he has her back and he's loyal. David says to Michelle, I hope you attend the Married at First Sight get-togethers because I hold no hard feelings towards you. What? Really, David? I mean, Michelle just says, sure. I think she's just absolutely numb. She's never shocked by David's comments anymore because he's just so out of touch with reality. And he's not her problem anymore. Kevin has to laugh, and he says, I would love to read that thought bubble that just popped up above your head. I could read it. I know exactly what she's thinking. This guy has some nerve. Juan and Carla have arrived and both look amazing with the exception of that ridiculous bow tie that Juan is wearing. He loves Carla's eyes and her personality, and Carla loves his drive and how passionate he is for the things that he loves, like his job and his family and his country, but unfortunately not for Carla. Carla is so gorgeous. I think this scared him into jumping into something sexually because he's done that in the past and it hasn't worked out. Juan believes the attraction issues were strictly due to lifestyle and not beauty or personality. And he is a true overthinker. He really is. He missed out on our little unicorn, Carla. They really could have been great together. And I believe Dr. Pepper hit it right on the head when she said they just needed a little more time. But you know what, guys? They're hanging out together, so who knows what's going to happen in the future. I wish they'd just give it another chance. Juan would let his guard down, and Carla would just continue to be Carla. I think Juan just really needed someone to fit perfectly into his life, and that's not what the experts were here to do for you. They wanted you to find somebody that would help you be more balanced and fulfilled, and that would have been Carla. Kevin brings up the intimacy coach, and that was hysterical. I felt so bad for Juan. I mean, how absolutely awkward and uncomfortable was that? Carla knew it wouldn't work during the honeymoon when he chose to go hang out with David and forgot about her. It was incredibly hurtful and selfish behavior, and she's lucky she discovered this about Juan early on, but this was a real turning point. She saw him for who he really was immediately. Carla's a confident woman who enjoys time apart, but she does not appreciate vagrant disrespect. Juan is telling Carla his way of doing something thoughtful for his wife is to not cheat on her. Really? So your bar is so low, you are using David as an example? Carla's open-minded, but she did have some expectations of how she wanted to be treated. Juan actually apologizes without any defense when he hears his words and how it came across and how it affected Carla. He says the error of his ways. David should take a page out of this book. Carla points out to Juan that they really aren't that different. Recently, Juan took a solo camping trip to reconnect with nature without his girlfriend. Carla would have been amazing for Juan. They would have had the most amazing camping trips together in nature. He blew it, and I stand by what I've said before. She would have brought him much needed balance, and they would have had a really fulfilling time together. Carla says she treats everyone as if she knows them, and I can relate to that. Everyone's my best friend until they present otherwise. And some people, when they watch this, they feel uncomfortable with it, but that's how Carla and I roll, and that's how we want to continue to roll. Carla realizes she knows she can be in the clouds, and she should probably show her more serious side. She's actually quite smart and can be very serious if she wants to be. She thinks that they have a tendency to misunderstand her. It's clear why these two were matched. The relationship was a blessing for both of them. Carla appreciates that Juan made it so easy for them to communicate with each other, and Juan adores Carla on a strong friendship level. Pheromones and chemistry are important. And no matter how attractive someone is, if you don't have chemistry, it's just not there. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, we have all expected that David is a bad liar, and he's an even worse texter. Akiche isn't dating. He feels solitude suits him better at the moment. At the moment. You've been in solitude for 12 years. What are you waiting for? Alan is loved by everyone, and David should not be commenting on Alan or his dating life ever. He has blown that right. He just doesn't get it. He's so unaware of how his actions affect people. This group of guys have grown really tight, and they've made some strong connections. The experts arrived to the reunion, and Dr. P is pregnant. She has a little miracle baby girl. The experts talk about how much they challenged the couples this season and how much the couples have grown on an individual basis. Michelle and Alan meet with the experts after the fallout from the cheating scandal. Pastor Cal is a big fan of Alan and Michelle. All the experts really see Alan's authentic, wonderful self, and they tell him he does not have to change for anyone. Alan doesn't feel his core values needed to change, but he had no problem working on the superficial stuff like his teeth or his wardrobe. Michelle takes ownership for her bratty behavior and has apologized even to David, which is shocking. The timeline of David and Madison is a complete lie. Amem and Akiche meet with Kevin and the experts. Dr. Pia doesn't understand where Akiche is coming from. He didn't feel like his wife had been honest with him or had his back, and he couldn't be farther from the truth. So everybody's confused as to how he got this conclusion. Mem tried more than anyone else would have tried, and she feels robbed of the experience, and I believe she was. Kevin brings out Brandon, and Akiche immediately gets up to leave. He doesn't even address Brandon with a handshake. For someone who doesn't seem to care, this is an odd response. The experts were surprised at how quick MM and Brandon got together. Brandon has got nothing but consistency from MM, so he really doesn't understand what Akiche is talking about. There is a chemistry between the two and really good communication. Brandon asks Pastor Cal to marry he and MM, and as flattered as Pastor Cal is, he's quite shocked, and he says they need to at least have a conversation before he's willing to do that. Brandon and MM had recently lost a baby to a miscarriage at 22 weeks. They're very committed to starting their family as soon as possible. David and Madison meet with Kevin and the experts. The questions still revolve around the timeline because it's just not jiving. David apologizes for lying to the experts. He just doesn't want to discuss the timeline. They've been together for a year, and he doesn't want to talk about that particular part of the betrayal anymore. He just wants to move forward. And the experts tell him, you shouldn't leave these boundaries fuzzy. You should lay it all out on the line. But we all want to know the truth. But they're just not willing to give it up, which is an answer in and of itself. I mean, it's clear to all of us when things started. You could see it all play out on TV. I mean, they were sneaking out and sneaking in at the same time. It's really nice to see Alan and Madison interact in a friendly way. Of course, Alan would do that for Madison, even though she doesn't deserve it. Camille talks up David, and I wonder how Michelle feels about that. It's hurtful to see her friends talk up David after his indiscretions and the horrible way he treated Michelle. I don't blame Michelle. David was horrible to her, and I would not have been thrilled either. I certainly would not have lived in that basement. The next season of Married at First Sight is going to be dropping on July 12th, and I can't wait. I hope we can watch it together. Please subscribe and share, and go out and check out my other channel, which I will leave pinned at the end. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.